a world where we have everything and it's still not enough, we're often left wondering, is this really it?
Deep inside, you know there's more to life. You're ready to leave behind the old push your way through and claim the deeper, more meaningful life that's calling you.
That's what we invite you to explore with us.
We're your hosts,
Stephanie Allen
and Maren. And this is the Soulful Leader Podcast.
Yay!
Do you ever find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, not able to sleep, thinking there must be more? Like the big existential questions are all in your head. When I say existential, I mean like the life questions. Why am I here? What is this all for? Why am I even doing this? You wake up and you're all about it, and then you finally get back to sleep, and 6 a.m. happens, the alarm goes off, you hit the alarm, and you're back in execution mode, right? And you can't think about all of that deep stuff that happened in the middle of the night. You just kind of shelve it.
Or you wake up in the morning and you go, oh, I'm exhausted. I didn't sleep at all last night, because all you could do is think and worry and be concerned about what on God's earth name is this what life about? Like,
Right.
there's just too much going on. And I don't feel like I've got the reins to be able to guide it. This is
Yeah.
what we're talking about. And
Yeah.
I mean, I encounter that in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot vying for attention, my attention.
There is.
There's a lot. And I could be used up everywhere, basically. So how do you discern? How do you go, well, what gives me meaning?
Well, so I want to start with, there's a reason that you're waking up in the middle of the night. Something's trying to get your attention, right? A deeper part of you is trying to get your attention. A deeper part of me is trying to get my attention. So when I hit the alarm and I go into execution mode or poor me mode, or I'm overwhelmed mode, or all the modes that we're trained into, and we just are like, I can't even think about that right now. Essentially, you're telling that part of yourself, you are relegated to waking me up in the middle of the night. That's the only time you're ever going to get attention. So guess what? It's going to keep happening.
Yeah, I know. And we tend to do so many of the other things, the outer things of like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to take melatonin, or I'm going to do magnesium, or, instead of like looking at what if it wasn't because you're not doing anything wrong? What if it was a wake up call, and that the middle of the night is when it's the quiet time for you to actually hear?
What
A lot
if?
of us don't have a practice at that time.
Yes.
I think
And
that's
even
what it
if,
comes down to.
yeah, I love that you're pointing that out, right? We think there's something wrong with us and we need to fix it. So we go to the doctor and they give us a pill to fix it. Guess what?
So it
That's
reminds me of a story. It reminds me of a story that this man, who is a very spiritual man and very disciplined, of getting up and doing his prayers every single morning, like all the time, like has never missed a beat. And one day it comes and he's tired and he's sleeping, and all of a sudden he gets awoken suddenly, and he looks, and it's the devil. And the devil has woken him up to do his prayers. And he's like, well, this doesn't seem right. Why would the devil wake me up to do my prayers? You think the devil would let me sleep in so that I'm
right.
not praying for peace, and I'm not praying for all the health and well-being. And so he asked the devil, he's like, what on earth are you doing waking me up? Like, you of all people, I think you would have just let me sleep in and miss this. And the devil replies saying, but I know that if you missed getting up and doing your prayers, it would break your heart, and one tear would create world peace.
Mm.
And that's such a good teaching, because for me, what it means is like we think what we are doing is enough, but it's actually the pain, the suffering, the not sleeping at night, the aches and the pains, the heartbreaks, the longing for some meaning in our life, that actually is what's waking us up.
Mm.
And that is what helps us drop in to ask more questions, to go more fiercely. So many people. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so many people get to the end of their life and then they're like, that's it?
Yeah.
my life, I wanted it to mean so much more. Or does it even have meaning? Like, we question it. And to me, that's heartbreaking, because I've been with people at the end of their life, and who want to hold on, who don't want to go, or they don't know where they're going. They don't have a belief system of that brings them peace, or there's things that they wish they could have, should have done better. They should have, could have, would have, ought to's, right? And I'm like, what would have to happen to live differently, so that at the end of your life, you would be able to just go, oh, wow, what's next? This is so great.
Yeah.
Like, what would have to happen between now and then? And I think that's my existential crisis that I always
Crisis.
think of. Yeah, is I always think of, because I've seen so many people, that what would mine be? Like, what is calling within me?
So there are two things that I want to point out. One of them is when you told that story, there's a part of me I was like, oh crap. I mean, I have to be in pain. And for me, when I heard that, I was like, you know what? There's many roads to Rome. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And so, yeah, there is that moment of heartbreak that wakes us up, that breaks us open, and we can go that path. There's the other path of continuing to do our practices, or starting to do our practices to keep, shining and refining who we are in this lifetime, so that we start to have a conversation that's not in the middle of the night and angsty, oh my God, who am I conversation. It's a daily conversation. So that's the second thing, is that there actually is a practice that you could step into. Literally, like asking yourself a deep existential question every day. And not like, I have to have an answer for this.
Mm,
Letting it be with you. Like, what if you had a practice every morning that asked a simple question, quote unquote, right?
mm. And I'm gonna just preface the practice, the hardness, right? We talked about pick your hard in
Mm.
that way.
Yeah, that's a great episode.
We've got to get uncomfortable. And so it doesn't mean that when your heart gets broken, or there's a longing, or there's a need in your heart, that is very challenging. So there is an element of uncomfortability. There is an element of effort. And even when your heart does get broken on, it can be a great opportunity. Instead of suffering on it, I think that's what we tend to just hold on to, that suffering. And we don't have to suffer so hard. There is suffering. Suffering means to go through something, but what part of you, meaning what awareness, are you taking through that suffering? Is the awareness that's going through that suffering something that's beating you up? Or is there awareness going through the pain and the suffering, going, oh, this is interesting. What might this be opening to? What might this be a catalyst for, in the way of unfolding a gift or a strength? Because longing is not comfortable. Longing for something is not comfortable too, but it's like, if we tell ourselves the itty bitty shitty committee stuff of like, oh, I suck, I'm too old, this isn't going to work out, la 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 la, I'm a victim, wah wah wah. Now we're holding on to suffering, and we're suffering on the suffering.
Right. I was gonna say that
You
one of
know?
our teachers always said, it's like, their quote unquote is suffering, quote unquote. And I love the fact that you brought up that suffering literally means to go through. So yes, we
Yeah,
go through stuff. And it's, will you go through it and come out the other side, or will you continue to suffer over your suffering?
exactly.
And that's what we've been trained to do in this culture. That's what we tend to do is, you have to feel guilty about it. You have to feel bad about it. You have to beat yourself up about it. You have to do like all the stuff. And,
It's like the baby is crying. So we think of ourselves like, think of the suffering or the pain or the uncomfortability as a little baby crying. Would you go into the little baby crying and pick it up and spank it or shake it? No. You'd pick up the baby and you'd hold it, and you're like, it's okay. I'm right here with you. I gotcha. and you might rock it or you might rub its back. Or, I mean, why aren't we doing that with ourselves so that we can pause in that moment of not feeling so comfortable so that we're open to listen to what wants to come?
And I think that that's for, going back to when we wake up in the middle of the night and we feel that angst, instead of shoving it down or tossing and turning with it, an option is to say, I hear you. I get it. I'm with you. You're right.
Yeah. What do you need?
Can we have this conversation in the morning? I promise I will. And then if you promise that you will, you actually need to do it.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you've trained that part of yourself to say, the only time we're going to have this discussion is in the middle of the night. That's the only time I'm going to give you attention. So it's going to wake you up in the middle of the night. If you negotiate with it and treat it with kindness and respect and say, I hear you, then you actually need to, just like a person who called you in the middle of the night and they're like, hey, I need something. You're like, I am dead asleep. Could we talk in the morning? And the person's like, yeah, we could. If you ignored that person, it's going to be a problem eventually. So you actually need to give that part of you the attention and say, okay, you know what? You called me in the middle of the night. What's up?
And sometimes I think that's a great option. And another option might be just lie there and breathe. Just listen. There's
Mm.
a reason you're up and it's not a bad one. It's the quietest time of your day. It gives you a chance to tune in to what's going on within you, to face what is needs, and to be able to really be with it, like to rock the baby. I mean, how many times do little babies wake up in the middle of the night? And that to know that there's someone there for them, to rest in that. I think, there's another possibility that, like, and this is what I do anyways, like if I wake up, instead of getting anxious about waking up in the middle of the night, now I'm going to be tired for tomorrow, because that's sometimes I go there too. I would go, I remember to tell myself, like, wait a minute, you're up because maybe the angel has tapped me on my shoulder and it has
Mm.
something to share with me. Maybe there's something to listen to, a guidance, an aha. I mean, it's just the other night I had so many ahas in the middle. I didn't sleep, but I wasn't exhausted. I was a little tired, but I wasn't exhausted as much as I thought I should be, because I was getting so many insights creatively. And those can be some of the greatest moments of inspiration if we know how to listen.
And one of the things I guess I'll ask you, when you say creatively, are you talking about like you got the creative idea to like, oh my gosh, I need to get up and paint a picture or do something different? Is it an outer world or is it an inner world creativity?
It could be anything, really. Could
Mm.
be anything. It's just, I don't know. It could be anything. I'm just open. And often it has a lot to do with, maybe there's been a question in my heart for the last little while, and I'm
Ah,
lying there. And if I don't try to force it to come, which is what I do a lot, if I practice of like just letting it be and being present to it, it's amazing what, like, my dreams or insights, or maybe it's guidance that comes to me. I don't know. It has a lot to do with the question that I might be living.
so the thing I'm hearing is space. We need to give it space. And right now, I think we've been so conditioned that we need our sleep and we need to execute and we need to do all of these things that we push through the parts of ourselves that are trying to get our attention. So, what would it look like in your life? And everyone's going to be different. Like we've given you two different options here of sit with it in the middle of the night, or say negotiate it with it and say, I hear you and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And it might be different each night, right? So,
Yeah.
what would it mean in your life to give that piece of yourself that's knocking on your door? It's there for a reason, to give it some space, to tell it, I hear you and I'm listening. What do you want to tell me? And then be present to it. And that does take effort
Practice
and practice
and patience,
and
and
patience.
also guidance in the way of, it's helpful to have people in your life who
Mm.
can be present to you with, and hold you in a very high regard, in the way is like they believe in who you are and what you're meant to become, until you can believe in who you are and what you're meant to become. Like they can hold it, not pressure you, but just accept that actually there's a great being inside all of us, and to really practice seeing that both in yourself as in others as well. It's an interesting thing. So having a practice, having individuals around you that will hold you, and having a belief that you are amazing. There is a meaning and a purpose and a value and a worth that is locked in the treasure of your chest. It's in there.
And I want to say that there is a path to it. And this is what we work with. So of course I'm going to say that. And I find that traditional psychology, traditional methods of, like moving us through to success. Like I find that psychology is there to help us to get to our success, to digest all of the issues so that we can be successful. And success and meaning are not the same thing.
Mm. Say more to that.
So there are a lot of highly successful people who are feeling that same angst that, it's like we assume that when we get to that place of like, I made it, that we don't wake up in the middle of the night with that angst going on. And it's just not true because success and meaning are two different things and they come from different places in us. Success
Well,
is this mental, high rational, have to do it cognitive, we've been trained. And meaning comes from our soul.
I look at success on two levels. There's the outer manifestation of success
Mm,
on what the world sees, and then there's the internal manifestation of success, which is what only I see.
mm.
And that's between me and my heart. And what I'm hearing you say is that I feel like there's a lot of people in this world that have outer success, but internally they don't feel successful. There's something that's off. There's something that's not giving them nourishment or satisfaction. There's it's like, fingernails on a chalkboard kind of thing. There's something that's off. And we can say, yeah, my life's really good. I've checked all the boxes. I've got all the things. I've, got all the awards. I make a difference. I volunteer, all these check boxes. But so why do I feel so empty? Why do I feel so much lack of peace or angst? And that's the inner success that nobody talks about,
Yeah.
because it feels like we're ashamed, because how dare you be so ungrateful? You have all these things going on in your life and you're still not happy. You have
Yeah.
no, I mean, that's what we say to ourselves and to each other, but that's where the balance feels off. And so how do we bring that internal? And that's another whole level that the mind is not. I always say the mind is the driver of the bus, meaning our bus is our body and the mind is the driver. And the spirit, though, the soul, is so much bigger than all of that.
Well, ideally, that's what's telling us where the bus is going.
Yeah.
And
It's the
because
map.
it's the map, right? And because we haven't connected to that, we come in and we get trained right away to do what the outer world tells us to do. That here's
Right.
what success looks like. So we get caught in that, what you said, like the outer loop of, okay, now I've done all the outer things. And many of them are very meaningful. And for me, I guess, like you said, success has two levels. For me, meaning also has two levels. There's the outer meaning of, yeah, I'm doing things that are meaningful, that I was told are meaningful and that are good and all of
Mm,
that stuff. Yet that's why I said, for me, meaning, the deeper meaning comes from my soul. Like, what's my agreement that I said I was going to come to this planet at this time and do this thing? And, you might be listening going, there is such a thing? We made agreements to come here and do something? Yeah, I believe that we really did. And
Yeah,
that's
I
why there's the
definitely.
emptiness when we don't fulfill that, that part of us is gonna keep tapping from the inside out, going tap, 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 tap. "Hey, wake up. We came here for a reason. There's more to do." And not in a more to do, like, "I'm exhausted, don't tell me there's more to do" type of way. In a, "Oh my god, that's what my heart has been longing for" kind of way.
Mhm. Yeah, there's so much possibilities and treasure inside of us. And so few of us get a chance to ever look in. And often that's what I see on people on their deathbed is that they like, I looked outside for love. I looked outside for success. I looked outside for wealth. I looked outside for health and happiness. And I never looked inward. And now it's too late. That's tends to be where they're getting. And it's like, and I think there's also a realization at that moment of death of like, "Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. How did I not look inside of this for so long? Why was I so scared?" You know?
The veils are thinner. So the mystics say that there's 10,000 veils between us and the one who sent us, and that the quote unquote one who sent us would be a part of ourselves, right? That sent us here. And as we get closer to our death, those veils get thinner and we get clearer. And the good news is that we don't have to wait. We can do that now. And that's the process that we're talking about. Those existential questions, the reason you're being awakened in the middle of the night is because that part of you, that deeper part of you, wants to have that conversation with you now and not wait.
So what if from moving forward, when you are starting to look at your outer world and the success, just hold the question, what would it be like to be internally successful? What even would that mean for you, for those who are
Yeah.
listening? What does it mean to be successful inwardly? Like with how you feel about yourself, about your gifts, your strengths, your whatever it is. And if you wake up in the middle of the night, what if you just held that question and know that the angel of life mission is tapping you on the shoulder and not get anxious about it, but just say, "Okay, I'm listening. Give it to me in a dream or give it to me in guidance or an insight or wonder." And just play with it. Play with it.
I
And if
love
you need
that.
help, ask.
Reach out to us, join our community, because that's what we're doing as a community. We're actually asking those questions, and there's a large group of people. It's creating a movement of let's live our life mission instead of what people are telling us to live. Let's live from our souls. And we would love to have you be a part of our community. So reach out to us. You can find us on our website, tslp.life, or on social media on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube at the Soulful Leaders. We
That's
look
great.
forward to yeah, we look forward to having more of these conversations with you. See you in 2 weeks.
See you.
And that wraps up another episode of the Soulful Leader podcast with your hosts, Stephanie Allen
And Maren Oslack. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to dive deeper, head over to our website at thesoulfulleaderpodcast.com.
Until next time.